Captain Aaron Steele had never seen anything like the interstellar market of Ziffer Prime. He walked carefully through the crowded lanes, his boots clanking lightly on the polished metallic floors. Strange, alien species moved around him, there, bodies glowing in colors he had never imagined. Some had long tentacles, some had wings, and some floated without touching the ground. The air was filled with a mixture of scents, sweet, metallic, and spicy, and the hum of alien voices in languages he could barely comprehend. Aaron's mission was simple, or so he thought. He had been sent as a human envoy to negotiate a trade agreement with the Zephyrian Empire. Humans were known across the galaxy for their courage and ingenuity, and the Zephyrians had finally agreed to hear him out. But navigating their culture was another matter entirely. He had to be polite, respectful, and careful not to offend anyone, or any alien. As he examined a stall selling glowing crystals, a soft voice called out, "Careful, human." Aaron looked up and froze. A figure in a flowing gown, shimmering, like liquid silver, floated a few steps away. Her eyes were a brilliant shade of violet, and her hair seemed to move on its own, as if it had a life of its own. Around her, guards in intricate armor stood at attention, but she walked freely, her smile calm and amused. Are you the human they sent?" she asked, her voice musical but firm. Aaron swallowed hard. Yes, Princess Liara. I am Captain Aaron Steele, here to discuss trade and friendship between our worlds." The princess tilted her head and studied him. "Most humans are loud, clumsy, and impatient. You seem different, curious." Aaron blinked. "Different in a good way?" he asked nervously. Liara laughed softly. "Perhaps. We shall see." Before he could respond, the princess moved forward with surprising speed, gliding between the stalls. In his attempt to follow, Aaron tripped over a small floating crate. He reached out to steady himself and accidentally grabbed Liara's hand. "Oh," she exclaimed, but instead of pulling away, she held his hand lightly, her violet eyes sparkling with amusement. Aaron's face turned red. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to." Liara shook her head, still smiling. "It is unusual, but humans are clumsy sometimes. I find it charming." The surrounding crowd of aliens whispered and pointed. Some guards stiffened, unsure if this was allowed. Aaron realized he had made a bold mistake, or maybe, unknowingly, a bold gesture. A tall Zephyrian official stepped forward. "Your Highness, should we intervene?" Liara waved her hand. "No, let him stumble. I am curious about him." Aaron felt a strange mixture of relief and panic. Curiosity from a princess was both dangerous and flattering. I promise I will not cause trouble," he said quickly. Liara tilted her head again, her smile widening. "I do not think you can promise that, human. You already have." Aaron swallowed hard, feeling the weight of her gaze. There was something different about her. Not just beauty or authority, but intelligence and curiosity that made humans feel tested. He followed her as she floated gracefully down the main corridor of the market. Every step he took drew more attention, and he noticed that some vendors had paused their sales to watch this unusual pairing. A human and the princess walking side by side, hand in hand. "You know," Liara said casually, "I rarely speak to humans directly. They are too unpredictable." "I can be predictable," Aaron said, trying to lighten the mood. "Sometimes," Liara laughed, the sound like wind chimes. "Sometimes, yes, but humans are full of surprises. That may be why I like you already." Aaron blinked. "Like me?" "Yes," she said simply, her smile never fading. "But do not misunderstand. I am not easily impressed." Aaron felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. He knew he was walking on a thin line. One wrong move could offend the princess, or cause a political incident, and yet he could not help feeling drawn to her, not just because of her beauty, but because she was different from anyone he had ever met. They reached a quiet courtyard, away from the busy crowd. Exotic plants glowed softly under artificial lights, and a small fountain bubbled in the center. Liara released his hand and stepped closer to the water. "Tell me, human," she said, "why do you come here? Not just to trade, but why risk walking into our world? Humans are far away from us, and yet you choose to be here." Aaron took a deep breath. "Because humans value friendship, princess. We believe in courage and in trying to understand each other. Not everything is about power or control." Liara considered his words. "Interesting. You speak boldly for one so young. Many humans are loud, but few are wise." Aaron shrugged. "I've learned that listening can be braver than shouting, and sometimes understanding others saves more than fighting ever could." Liara smiled again, impressed by his honesty. "Perhaps that is why I find you intriguing. But beware, human. Zifarians are not always so kind to outsiders." Aaron nodded. "I understand, and I am willing to earn your trust, princess, in any way I can." They walked together toward a bridge that connected the market to the palace gardens. A soft wind blew across the courtyard, carrying the scent of alien flowers. Aaron noticed that Liara's attention was focused on him, not the crowds or the guards. "Do humans always speak so confidently?" she asked, her tone curious rather than judgmental. "Not always," he admitted. "Sometimes we fail spectacularly, but we try, and sometimes trying is all you can do." Liara's eyes sparkled. "Trying, yes. That is something we can respect. But tell me, human, what is the boldest thing you have ever done?" Aaron paused, thinking. He wanted to tell her the truth about the battles he had fought, the ships he had piloted through storms, and the lives he had risked. But he also wanted her to see that he was not just a soldier. He was human. He decided to share a small story. "I once saved a colony from a collapsing asteroid field," he said. "Everyone thought it was impossible, but I worked with a small team, trusted each other, and we succeeded. It was scary, but rewarding." Liara tilted her head, clearly impressed. "Humans take risks others avoid. That is rare. Perhaps that is why you stumbled into my hand today. Fate has a sense of humor." Aaron chuckled nervously. "Or clumsiness, princess." Liara laughed, and this time the sound echoed softly across the courtyard. "Perhaps both. But do not mistake my amusement for weakness, human. You may be bold, but Zifarians are patient, and we observe." Before Aaron could respond, a messenger appeared, bowing low. "Your Highness, the council requests your presence, and the human, if it pleases you." Liara's smile did not fade. "Then we shall go. But know this, human. You are already more interesting than most who enter my world." Aaron felt a thrill of both pride and nervousness. Being interesting to a princess was far more complicated than any battle he had ever fought. And yet he knew that this encounter, strange, awkward, and daring, was only the beginning dot. As they walked toward the palace, Aaron realized that human courage and honesty might be his greatest weapons in this alien world. And perhaps they might be the reason a princess would notice him. In a way no one else ever had. The palace of Ziffer Prime was unlike any building Aaron Steele had ever seen. Towers of polished crystal reached into the sky, and translucent walkways shimmered with soft light. Strange floating orbs hovered along the corridors, guiding guests to their destinations. Aaron's boots made little sound on the smooth surfaces, yet every step seemed amplified in the vast hallways. Princess Liara led him through the grand corridors, her presence commanding yet graceful. Guards flanked them, but they kept a careful distance. Aaron could feel the weight of eyes on him. Officials, advisors, and servants watching this human in the inner sanctum of Zifarian power. "You must understand, human," Liara said as they walked. "The customs here are strict. A wrong move, a wrong gesture, and the council could take offense. And in Zifar, offense is not easily forgiven." Aaron nodded, trying to steady his nerves. "I understand, princess. I'll be careful." "I promise." Liara glanced at him, amused. "You are bold to promise something before fully understanding it. Most humans would hesitate. You intrigue me. They reached a large hall filled with Zephyrian officials seated in a semicircle. Crystal tables glowed softly under the ambient light, displaying holographic projections of trade agreements and interstellar maps. Aaron noticed some advisors whispering among themselves, their expressions a mix of curiosity and suspicion. "Your Highness," a senior official said in a calm, deep voice, "this human is here for trade talks, but we must ensure he understands Zephyrian etiquette before granting him full audience." Liara waved a delicate hand. "Let him stay. Observation is as important as ceremony. Besides, I wish to see how he reacts." Aaron swallowed hard and bowed slightly. He knew that in human culture a bow was a sign of respect, but he had no idea if it meant the same here. A faint murmur spread through the room. Some officials raised their eyes, and Aaron felt the pressure of their scrutiny. "Sit, Liara," said softly, "and speak when spoken to." Aaron did as instructed, taking a seat on a floating chair that adjusted to his size. The technology amazed him. It seemed almost alive, lifting and tilting to maintain perfect balance. The council began. The ceremony? Liara explained the trade protocols, and Aaron listened carefully. He wanted to demonstrate respect and understanding, but Zephyrian rules were confusing. Every gesture, every word had meaning. He tried to mirror the princess's calm demeanor, but his nervous energy betrayed him. After the incident in the palace hall, Aaron Steele knew he had to be careful. The princess's amusement had saved him from embarrassment, but he also understood that trust in the Zephyrian court was earned, not given. Princess Liara, curious about this human, decided it was time to see what he was truly capable of. "Human," she said one morning as they walked through the palace gardens, "I wish to see how you think, how you act, and how you respond to challenges. If you can navigate these trials, you will gain my respect, and perhaps the respect of Zephyr itself." Aaron straightened. "I am ready, Princess. Tell me what I must do." Liara's smile was calm but determined. "It is not only about following instructions. You must understand the heart of Zephyr, its values of courage, wisdom, and empathy. Your first trial begins now." They entered a section of the palace gardens that Aaron had not seen before. The plants here were more unusual than before. Giant flowers with translucent petals, floating vines, and glowing stones embedded in the ground. At the center stood a small platform, surrounded by a shallow pool of water that reflected the alien sky above. "This," Liara said, "is the garden of reflection. You must retrieve the crystal at the center without disturbing the living creatures that inhabit it. Every movement is watched." Aaron studied the platform carefully. The water shimmered as if alive, and tiny glowing creatures flitted around. One wrong step could scare them away, and Liara had already told him that Zephyrians respected those who showed gentleness and patience. He took a deep breath and began. Slowly, he stepped onto the floating stones, careful not to startle the creatures. He balanced carefully, remembering the lessons of human agility and precision he had learned during his training on Earth. A small misstep here could ruin everything, but he persisted, focusing on steady breathing and careful observation. Liara watched silently from the edge of the garden, her violet eyes sharp and observant. "Patience," she whispered, more to herself than to him. Finally, Aaron reached the center platform. He bent down and picked up the crystal, careful not to touch the glowing water or disturb the creatures. Holding it carefully, he returned along the same path, keeping his balance and respecting every movement. As soon as he set the crystal down in front of Liara, she nodded approvingly. "You see, human? Courage alone is not enough. Intelligence, observation, and care are equally important. You have passed the first test." Aaron smiled, though relief mixed with exhaustion. "Thank you, Princess. I will continue to do my best." Liara's gaze softened. "You show respect and thoughtfulness. That is unusual. Most humans are reckless or arrogant or both." Aaron laughed softly. "I try to be careful. I have learned the hard way that clumsiness can be dangerous." Liara tilted her head, amused. "You have already stumbled into my hand once today. Yet you are careful now. Perhaps humans are capable of learning, if they wish. The second trial was more challenging. Liara led him to the Chamber of Decisions, a large room filled with holographic maps of star systems, energy grids, and colonies. Human, your next trial is to demonstrate your judgment and wisdom. You will be presented with a simulated crisis, and how you respond will show whether you are capable of understanding Zephyrian values. Aaron studied the maps carefully. He noticed that one of the colonies faced a potential energy failure that could endanger thousands of lives. The hologram simulated scenarios. Each choice he made led to different consequences. He analyzed each option, rerouting energy, alerting the inhabitants, and utilizing the technology available. He considered efficiency, safety, and long-term effects. It was complicated, but Aaron drew on his human training, strategic thinking, problem-solving, and improvisation. Finally, he made his decisions. The hologram responded positively, showing the colony safe and the energy stabilized. Liara, watching closely, raised an eyebrow in approval. "You are practical, quick to act, yet careful in your judgment," she said. "Humans often rush into action, but you think that is impressive." Aaron felt pride swell inside him. "I learned from my mistakes, Princess. Humans are not perfect, but we adapt." Liara's expression softened slightly. "Adaptation is key. We Zephyrians value planning, patience, and foresight. Yet you have shown that humans too can balance courage with wisdom. That is rare." After a brief rest, the third trial began. This time Liara led him to the Hall of Compassion, where holograms of injured aliens and humans appeared. Some were hurt in accidents, some trapped in dangerous situations. Aaron's task was simple in theory: rescue them all using his skills, tools, and judgment. Aaron sprang into action. He used his knowledge of human technology to assess the risks and improvise solutions. He carried injured figures, operated alien devices to stabilize their surroundings, and coordinated movements to ensure no one was left behind. The challenge tested not only his intelligence but also his heart and empathy. Liara observed quietly, impressed. She had seen many brave warriors, but few demonstrated genuine care for others beyond duty or glory. Aaron did not hesitate to help anyone, human or alien. When the final simulation ended, every holographic being was safe. Aaron was breathing heavily, but he smiled. "I hope that was sufficient, Princess." Liara approached him. "Sufficient? Human, that was exceptional. You have demonstrated courage, intelligence, and compassion. You think before you act, yet you act when it is necessary. Few beings, even in Sci-Fi, achieve all three in a single trial." Aaron felt a surge of relief and pride. "Thank you, Princess." "I am honored." Liara's smile turned playful. "Do not think, human, that passing these trials makes you invincible. You still have much to learn, and there are those who watch your every move with suspicion." Aaron frowned slightly. "Suspicion?" Liara nodded. "Yes, not everyone trusts outsiders, and certainly not humans. Some see you as a potential threat, others as a curiosity. You must prove not only your abilities but your loyalty and heart." Aaron clenched his fists, feeling determination rise. "I understand. I will do whatever it takes to earn your trust, and the trust of Sci-Fi." Liara's violet eyes softened. "Good. That determination, it is human, yet admirable. Courage, intellect, and empathy combined make you unusual human. Perhaps that is why you are interesting to me." Aaron smiled nervously. "Interesting, in a good way, I hope." Liara's smile widened. "Perhaps. But remember, humans, Zephyrians are patient. Friendship and trust are earned over time, not quickly. Yet, you have begun well." The day ended with a quiet walk through the palace gardens. The alien sun cast soft light on the floating flowers, and small creatures glowed in the evening light. Aaron noticed that Liara's attention remained on him, not the beauty surrounding them. "You see, human," she said, breaking the silence. What you have learned today is more than trial or test. You have begun to understand Zifar, our values, our patience, and our expectation for balance. That is far more important than skill alone. Aaron nodded. I will remember, Princess. Every lesson. Liara smiled faintly. Good. For tomorrow you will face a trial of teamwork and loyalty. It will challenge not only your mind but your spirit. Are you ready, human? Aaron squared his shoulders. I am ready. Whatever it is, I will do my best. Liara's eyes twinkled. We shall see. The trials are not merely tests of ability, they are tests of heart. You have already shown courage, wisdom, and compassion. The next trial will reveal whether you are truly worthy of Zifarian trust. Aaron realized that he had come far from the crowded market from the moment he stumbled into her hand. Each challenge tested a different part of him, and yet he felt alive in a way he had never experienced. This world, strange and alien, demanded the best of him, and he intended to give it. As they walked back to the palace, Aaron reflected on everything he had done that day. Every mistake, every careful step, every act of kindness had shaped the impression he made. And in that reflection, he understood something important. The princess's smile, her curiosity, and her attention were not trivial. They were opportunities to show humanity's best qualities in a world that needed to see them. And so, as the stars rose above Zifar Prime, Aaron Steele knew one thing clearly. He had begun a journey not just to earn trust, but to prove that humans, though different, could shine even among the stars. The palace of Zifar Prime was calm in the early hours of the morning. Soft light filtered through the crystal towers, casting long, shimmering shadows across the corridors. Captain Aaron Steele had grown accustomed to this world's strange beauty, but he had learned not to let comfort dull his senses. The princess's trials had sharpened his awareness, and he now knew that appearances could be deceiving. Princess Liara met him in the palace gardens, her violet eyes serious for the first time in days. Human, we have a problem, she said. Aaron's heart quickened. What kind of problem, Princess? Liara gestured toward the palace gates. There are whispers of a plot against Zifar. A faction seeks to disrupt our trade agreements, and they will use anyone, even outsiders, to achieve their goals. You may be involved whether you wish it or not. Aaron frowned. I don't understand. How could I be involved? Liara's expression softened slightly. Your presence is unusual. Some believe that a human interacting so closely with me could be a threat. Others believe that you are a pawn in a larger plan. We must be careful. Aaron felt the weight of the warning. His mission had been simple. The grand hall of Zifar Prime was more magnificent than anything Aaron Steele had ever imagined. Crystal columns soared toward the sky, reflecting soft lights that shimmered like liquid stars. Holographic banners of the Zifarian Empire floated gently, displaying the symbols of unity and honor. The palace had prepared for a special ceremony, a gathering of the council, dignitaries, and emissaries from other worlds. Aaron stood near the entrance, adjusting his uniform and taking a deep breath. The events of the past days had tested him in ways he had never anticipated. From the market encounter to the trials in the gardens and the thwarted sabotage, he had proven courage, intelligence, and loyalty. Now he would see how his actions would culminate in the eyes of the Zifarian court, and perhaps in the eyes of Princess Liara. Liara appeared at the far end of the hall, gliding effortlessly across the floor. She wore a gown that seemed to capture the light of 1,000 stars, her violet eyes glowing softly. The crowd fell silent at her presence. Even Aaron felt the pull of her gaze, warm, commanding, and slightly teasing. Human, she said, her voice carrying through the hall. Today is a day of significance. The actions of many have led to this moment, but the courage of a single individual has ensured our safety and strengthened our bonds. Captain Aaron Steele, step forward. Aaron moved carefully toward the center of the hall, the weight of attention on him pressing heavily. He had faced battles and dangers before, but this was different. Here, every gesture, every word mattered. Liara extended her hand and Aaron took it, careful to do so with respect. "Princess," he said quietly, "I am honored to stand here. I have tried my best to serve your people and protect this palace. Humans may be far from home, but our courage and loyalty are universal." Liara's smile softened, her violet eyes shining with approval. "You have shown more than skill, human. You have demonstrated that humans can embody values we thought rare: courage, intelligence, compassion. Today we honor not only your actions, but the spirit of your kind." The council members, initially wary, nodded in agreement. Murmurs of approval spread through the hall. Aaron realized that in that moment he had not only earned respect, he had bridged two worlds. Then Liara's tone shifted, gentle yet playful. "And now, human, you must answer a question that has lingered in the air since your first day here." Aaron's heart skipped a beat. He remembered the moment in the hall, the misunderstanding, and her famous words. "Wait, are you proposing to me?" Liara's violet eyes studied him carefully. "Are your intentions merely diplomatic, or do they extend beyond protocol?" Aaron swallowed, choosing his words carefully. "Princess, I came here to represent humanity, but in the time I have spent with you, I have seen not only your world but your heart. I care for you deeply. My respect and admiration are sincere, and my loyalty unwavering." Liara's eyes widened slightly and a hush fell over the hall. She floated closer, the crowd giving them space. "Human," she said softly, "your honesty is rare, bold, yet genuine. I see now that your heart matches your courage." Aaron stepped forward, holding out his hands in a gesture of respect. "Princess Liara, whether this is tradition, custom, or a moment of truth, I offer you my friendship, my loyalty, and my admiration. If I may, I wish to pledge these openly." The hall was silent, the council and the dignitaries leaning forward in curiosity. Aaron realized that he had navigated the difficult line between diplomacy and personal honesty, and now the moment of truth rested with the princess. Liara's expression softened further. She studied him, her gaze moving from his eyes to his hands, then back again. Slowly, she extended her hand, touching his lightly. "Human, your actions have proven what your words declare. Your courage, intelligence, and loyalty are undeniable, and your heart is true. Perhaps it is fitting that you speak openly here." Aaron's chest tightened. "Princess, if my words are welcome, I wish to remain by your side, not just as an envoy, but as a friend, and perhaps more, if you allow it." A gentle smile curved Liara's lips. "You are unusual, human. Most would hide their feelings behind caution or pride. You speak boldly and yet with respect. That is admirable." Aaron felt a surge of hope. "Princess Liara, would you accept my pledge?" For a long moment she was silent, letting the weight of her gaze settle upon him. Then she spoke, her voice soft but certain. "Yes, human. Your pledge is accepted. Your honesty, courage, and heart have earned it. And perhaps more than just a pledge." A murmur of astonishment ran through the hall. Some council members smiled in approval. Others simply shook their heads in disbelief at the unusual turn of events. But Liara ignored them all, focusing entirely on Aaron. "You see, human," she continued, "Zephyrians respect actions, courage, and loyalty. You have demonstrated all three, and that makes you extraordinary in ways even I did not anticipate." Aaron felt a mixture of relief, pride, and something deeper. He had come to Zephyr Prime as a human envoy, unsure of how he would be received. Now he stood recognized not only for his courage and intellect, but also for the sincerity of his heart. He bowed slightly, a gesture of respect and humility. "Princess, I am honored beyond words. I will continue to serve you and your people faithfully, and I will honor this moment always. Liara reached out and placed her hand over his. Human, your honor is recognized, but know this. I do not see you merely as an envoy or a visitor. I see you as someone I trust, someone who stands by my side, and someone who has proven that humans are capable of greatness. Aaron's smile widened. Then I am truly home, Princess. Not on Earth, not on a distant star, but here, with you and with your people. Liara's violet eyes twinkled. Perhaps, human, that is the greatest lesson for both our worlds. That trust, courage, and honesty, qualities of a single human, can build bridges stronger than any alliance or weapon. As the ceremony concluded, dignitaries approached to congratulate Aaron and Liara. Hands were shaken, respect was given, and whispers spread through the hall. Humans are capable of greatness, even in alien worlds. Later, in a quiet section of the gardens, Aaron and Liara walked side by side. The stars above Zifar Prime shimmered, casting light on floating flowers and glowing vines. The palace was safe, the council impressed, and their bond stronger than ever. You know, human, Liara said softly, most would not have survived your first day in our world. Many would have faltered, offended, or fled. But you endured. You learned, and you proved that humans are more than their reputation. Aaron smiled. I had a good teacher. Liara laughed softly. Perhaps. Or perhaps you simply have what it takes to stand among the stars. He looked at her, feeling the weight of the journey they had shared, the market encounter, the trials, the sabotage, and now this moment of trust and recognition. Princess Liara, I will not fail. I will honor your trust and the bond we share. Always. She smiled, and this time her smile carried warmth, approval, and something deeper. I believe you, human, and perhaps that is why this story will be remembered, not for the grandeur of the palace, the politics, or the ceremonies, but for the courage and heart of one human who showed us what it means to truly belong. Aaron felt a quiet sense of accomplishment. He had arrived as an outsider, a stranger in an alien world, but through courage, intelligence, and sincerity, he had earned respect, forged bonds, and even touched the heart of a princess. As they walked together beneath the starlit sky, he realized that this was more than a mission or a trial. It was a beginning of friendship, trust, and perhaps even something more. Humans had finally shown that they could shine, even in the far reaches of the galaxy. And in that moment, Aaron Steele knew with certainty. He was not just a visitor on Zifar Prime. He was a trusted ally, a friend, and in the eyes of Princess Liara, someone who could stand beside her in a world of stars and wonders, united by courage, loyalty, and heart.